Felling of the Banyan Tree, Dilip Chitre. Chapter 10, Woven Words, Class 11, Literature. About the poet. Dilip Chitre was born in Baroda. He writes poetry both in Marathi and English. Travelling in a Cage, from which this poem has been taken, was published in 1980. Apart from poetry, Chitre has also written short stories and critical essays. An anthology of Marathi poetry, 1945 to 1965, is one of his most important works of translation. He sees poetry as an expression of the spirit. He lived and worked in Mumbai. Stanza 1. My father told the tenants to leave who lived on the houses surrounding our house on the hill. One by one the structures were demolished. Only our own house remained and the trees. Trees are sacred, my grandmother used to say. Felling them is a crime, but he massacred them all. The shioga, the odumber, the neem were all cut down. But the huge banyan tree stood like a problem, whose roots lay deeper than all our lives. My father ordered it to be removed. The felling of the banyan tree focuses on a particular time in a family history when a drastic decision has to be made by the father. The decision involves the demolition of the house and the trees on a hill and the cutting down of a huge tree which has stood for centuries in the same spot. It is an autobiographical poem, being Dilip Chitre's exploration of time when he was uprooted from Baroda to Mumbai. So, the banyan tree is a metaphor for his life, for the family's decision to change from Baroda to Mumbai. The person responsible for taking this decision was his own father. He says that his father is a dominating and authoritative person, in contrast to the traditional and conservative nature of the grandmother. The patriarchal versus matriarchal theme is central to the poetry. The speaker appears to favor the latter, but it is helpless to stop the inevitable moment of progress as applied by his father. Dilip Chitre is a respected and a versatile filmmaker, one of the India's most popular and modern poets, and he writes both in Marathi and English. Here, the poet does not mention any reason for a drastic action, and there is no specific economical or logical details offered as to why the clearance of the houses and the land should occur. An ethical and feminine approach is represented in the family by the grandmother as a spokesperson for nature for the sacred aura attached to the remaining tree. The grandmother introduces a religious element based on tradition which tells us not to harm a tree, and cutting a tree is a crime. The poet gives the names of Shioga and Odumber tree that are ordered to be uprooted. The banyan tree is a symbol of their family itself. The felling of the banyan tree represents centuries of living and a connection between heaven and earth. Stanza 2. The banyan tree was 3 times as tall as our house. Its trunk had a circumference of 50 feet. Its scraggy aerial roots fell to the ground. From 30 feet or more, so first they cut the branches, sawing them off for 7 days, and the heap was huge. Insects and birds began to leave the tree. In this stanza, the imagery is very clear. Even though the banyan tree is huge, it is helpless to resist when it is hacked by dozens of men. In fact, this felling of a tree is foretelling the coming up of environmental disaster because of industrialization and expanding population. Stanza 3. And then they came to its massive trunk. 50 men with axes chopped and chopped the great tree, revealed its rings of 200 years. We watched in terror and fascination this slaughter, as a raw mythology revealed to use its age. Soon afterwards, we left Baroda for Bombay, where there are no trees except the one which grows and seeds in one's dream, its aerial roots, looking for the ground to strike. In stanza 3, the speaker has 2 emotions, terror and fascination. He is afraid and sad because of the fear of the future, and he is fascinated on seeing the massive tree crashing to the ground. It is believed that Buddha renounced under the banyan tree in Bodh Gaya. There are many more such stories that this tree encompasses its age-old aerial roots that fell to the ground mysteriously. The poet is impressed by its huge figure. As he says, the great tree revealed its rings of 200 years. The family moves to the city of Mumbai, and the poet says that the only tree available was in his subconscious mind. The tree's aerial roots looking for the ground to strike. Here, this is a proof of all the years and decades the tree has lived. This majestic tree demonstrates the complexity of the natural world and the ability of the human beings to disturb them. Here, the poet gives the clear message of going green, and he asks the readers to stop harming the planet Earth. Thank you for detailed notes and question and answer. Log on to EDUGURU-Notes.blogspot.com. If you like this video notes, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.